Hey, welcome to day 22 of 31 Days of Yoga for Mental Health, Sweet Release. I'm Daria, and this practice is definitely more on the chill end of the spectrum, not quite all the way to yin restorative yoga, but it's just for those days when you need something a little smoother, slower, and sweeter to just let everything go, full body. All you'll need is yourself and a space to move, and when you're ready, let's begin. We'll start seated right here, nice and easy. Just begin with the breath. Close your eyes, relax your palms down to your legs, and feel as if you could just melt right into the earth from how much your sitting bones are grounded down. And even with that grounding, keep your chest proud and the crown of your head elevated so the whole back line of your body is lengthened. And take a few breaths right here, just naturally, however you breathe. Notice how the breath feels moving through your whole body. And notice any holding or tension right away coming up in your body. And just with curiosity, just with a bit of mindfulness. And so it's not about right away trying to change or trying to clear the mind of any thoughts, but just building more awareness of what's going on, body and mind, so that we can work with it. And start to turn your awareness a bit more inward. Let go with your breath of anything that has happened so far in your day. And allow yourself to just melt a bit more into gravity, into the grounding of your sitting bones. And slowly begin to blink your eyes open. And then just drop your head over to the right. So right ear comes down toward right shoulder. You can stay right here like this, or maybe you bring your right arm up to your head, your right hand, to just gently encourage that opening in the left side of your neck. Also an option, if you'd like to feel a bit more sensation, to take left fingertips down beside you, or like they're going on a little reach, like there's something sitting next to you, but you can't quite get it. Breathe nice and gently into the opening, into the space along the left side of your neck. And if you notice any kinks or any stickiness right away, see if you can just soften it nice and gently. Good, and then reverse the side. So left ear tips down towards your left shoulder, and maybe you stay with that. Or maybe you take the left hand up to the side of your head, and maybe the right fingertips reach out long. Soften your gaze, and soften your scalp and your hair. Let go of tension from the face, the mouth. And just breathe. Good. Go ahead and release. And we'll just take some nice and easy circles now with the head. So lower your chin down toward your chest. And then take a little revolution over to the right, up and around, over to the left and forward. These can be really subtle. It doesn't have to be a huge circle with the head. Just getting into a little bit of movement and working out some of the kinks in the neck. One more circle in this direction. And then slowly take it the other way. And let this feel really, really good. If it doesn't feel good, maybe make your circles a little smaller or go a little slower to really feel. One more time to the left. Good. And now we'll get into a little side body stretch. So step your right fingertips out wide and then lift your left fingertips all the way up and over. And maybe you slowly lower down closer to the right elbow. Try to keep your left sit bone grounded to your mat. So grow from that place, from the very core of your pelvis, all the way up through left fingertips. Take it nice and easy, really feel into the opening, into the creation of space. And then only as the space is created, you slide in a little bit deeper, moving into that new space and then seeing what's next. Maybe there's even more space. Good. Slowly inhale, make your way up to the center, and then take it the other side. So the left fingertips gently come down, right fingertips reach all the way up and over. More space gets created along the whole right side of your body, and try to keep that right sitting bone down towards your mat. Maybe the gaze goes up to the inside of the right elbow, or you can take it down, whatever feels better, on your neck and your head. One more little reach, and then bring it all the way up. Good. Make your way to hands and knees. Ground your palms, tuck your toes, and take a really nice lazy transition back to downward facing dog. By lazy, I don't mean let go of the activation down and forward through your palms, but just a little gentler than usual, a little slower, a little more chill. You can pedal at your feet. Maybe feel into opening in the calves, the back line of both of your legs, the hamstrings. Good. Inhale and slowly step your right foot forward between your palms, bend at your knee. Set your legs up for warrior one. So spin your left toes out at about a 45-degree angle and maybe step the left foot in a little closer to your right. Pull your inner thighs together and nice and gently just reach up tall. Square both of your hips toward the front of your room. Maybe you even stay with hands on hips today. Keep into the grounding in your feet, and again, feel an opening in the back line of the left leg, the left calf, as you gently melt your heel down closer to your mat. Exhale, bring your hands to interlace right at the base of your spine. Keep a micro bend in your elbows, but draw the tips of your shoulder blades together to touch and really puff up through your heart. Grow the back of your heart more forward. And then exhale, bow in for humble warrior. Take your right shoulder to the inside of your right knee. Or maybe it just rests on top of the right knee. You can always go in a little deeper as you continue to melt and release. Feel into the grounding in both of your feet, and then just let your head and your upper body surrender to gravity. If you feel like you've gone in a little too far, it's always okay to back it off just a little bit and find that sweet spot. It's called sweet release because it's supposed to feel good. The goal today is for lots of sweetness, lots of let go in the body, not force. Good. Undo the grip of your hands and bring both of your palms down to the inside of your right foot. Crawl your right toes out nice and wide and lower down to your left knee. And we'll take lizard. So option to stay up on your palms. You may already be feeling a lot of sensation right here. And gradually, as your body asks for more, as those little doorways, those layers of tension unlock, you can start to go in a little bit deeper, but only as you're ready. And let your hips here be made of something sweet, like honey or chocolate, something that is drippier and melts. And your breath is the instigator of the melt. So the more deeply you breathe, the more deeply you can feel into each piece of sensation and let your body unwind even more. And press back up onto your palms, nice and slow if you weren't already there. Step your right foot more to the midline of your mat so the right hand can come out wide. And then just shift your hips back for a really gentle half splits. So you can keep the right knee micro bent, more generously bent. Always an option to bring hands on blocks if you're feeling like you don't have a ton of space today in your right hamstring. Try to even your hips by sending your right hip a little back and your left hip a little forward, and flex your right toes up towards your face. With the breath, you gently begin to fold forward. Try to create more length in your spine as you inhale. Intend the crown of your head and your tailbone away from each other in opposite directions. And then with your exhales, melt the back of your heart more forward. And let your breath wash along the grain of the muscle where you feel the most sensation. Breathe right into that very core. And the breath ebbs and flows. And that's your doorway to more release. Good. Press back up into your palms if you lowered down to elbows. And then tuck your right knee in so you can crawl your right toes all the way out to the left side of your mat, and we'll set up for a half pigeon. Drop down to your shin and crawl your left toes back. You can stay with a little squeeze of the inner thighs to square the hips, pull your feet together, and then untuck left toes and begin to slowly melt it forward. Little option for something a little bit different today. In half pigeon, you can stay always with this more traditional version, but if you'd like to try, take your right palm down in front of you and thread the needle by crossing your left shoulder through. So left hand comes all the way through and you lower down to the left shoulder and the left side of your face. Big, full breaths. And let your head drop, let your jaw drop. And let your cheeks expand, almost so you feel like a chipmunk because of how much you've let go. And slowly, slowly begin to make your way back out, pressing into palms and fingertips to rise you all the way back up. Tuck your left toes behind you and just crawl the left knee in a little bit. Bring the right knee back to align with the left knee, so you're on hands and knees, and then just sit it back for child's pose. You can either keep the knees spread wide or bring toes together to touch, whatever feels best. Relax your forehead down and take a few breaths here along the whole length of your spine. As you inhale, grow. Send the breath up from your tailbone into the middle back, your upper back between the shoulder blades, and then up into the crown of your head. As you exhale, let it wash back down that same line along the back line of your body, and maybe your hips melt down closer to your heels. Send some weight back forward into your palms, tuck your toes behind you, and then pick your hips up and back, nice and lazy again for downward facing dog. It's like you're a cat stretching out in the sun. Or waking up after a long nap with a big full body stretch. Inhale and step your left foot forward between your palms. Come down to the heel of the right foot, spin right toes to face a little out toward the long edge of your mat. Squeeze your inner thighs together and just nice and easy rise up for warrior one. Fingertips go up overhead, or maybe they stay at your hips. Puff up through your heart and feel into the opening in the right calf. And then bring your palms, your hands to interlace at the base of your spine. Draw shoulder blades together, keeping a micro bend in your elbows. And slingshot the back of your heart more forward. Grow all the way up through your eyes. And then exhale, bow it in, humble warrior. Right shoulder maybe to left knee or to the inside. And let it drop. And check in with any expectations you might have for your body on this new side after what happened on the first side. And just remember to be present with the unfolding that's happening now and allow this side to be a unique, different experience. Slowly undo the grip of your hands, glide your palms back down to the inside of your left foot and crawl right toes back, step left toes out wide and lower down to your right knee for lizard. An option to incorporate props if that helps you set up to feel more comfortable. If your knees are extra sensitive, you can always place a pillow, something plushy underneath a knee that's going to be down on your mat, like right now under the right knee. Maybe under your elbows as you slowly lower. Relax the back of your neck and your head. See if there's any piece of your body right here that's resisting the drop. And just go into that place, explore what's going on there. And with the breath, encourage a little more release, sweetly, not forcefully. It's not called forceful release, it's called sweet release. And begin to make your way out, pressing back up onto palms of hands. Crawl your left toes to the midline, and then take that gentle shift back with the hips. Flexing left toes up and away from your mat. Maybe stay with a bend in the left knee, maybe bring blocks or something under to support your hands. And as you're ready, melt your heart more forward, trying to keep the spine as long as possible. Notice if your neck is hinging. I know I have a tendency to do this with the grow. Take my cervical spine out of line. See if you can keep length in the back of your neck even as you grow the spine. Grow the back of the neck as a part of the spine because it's connected. And then melt forward. And see what you feel. See how your thoughts change with the change in sensation. Thoughts and emotions and sensations, they're all linked. So maybe the more deeply you go, you'll start to feel a little different than you felt when you began, right at the start. Good. Press your way back up if you lower to elbows, and then tuck in your right or your left shin. So setting up again for half pigeon on this side. Crawl your right toes back. Maybe you stay with them tucked to square the hips by pulling your feet together for a little breath, a little lift, and then you drop into it. Stay up or maybe come down to your elbows. And stay right here, or maybe go for a little thread the needle, crossing this time the right arm under the left so the right shoulder maybe can come down to your mat. Maybe you need to readjust too a little bit once you get down to the shoulder. That's totally fine. Always taking any little micro adjustments to feel more comfortable and more like you can relax. Notice in these longer, stretchier holds, if your body feels safe, and see what you can do if anything does feel unsteady or unsafe, how you can set yourself up to be more comfortable, calmer, and safer. Breathe fully and deeply with waves of breath. And let those waves wash through your outer left hip. And then slowly make your way out, pressing into palms to lift yourself back up. Draw your right knee just in a little closer and take the left knee back, and then sink again back for child's pose just for a couple of breaths. If you prefer to move into puppy pose right here, you can definitely go for it. Or maybe you bring your hands together in prayer in front of you and relax your forehead down to your thumbs. Good. Press back up onto hands and knees. And send your right foot out long beside you. Ground the sole of your right foot so the right toes will stay facing the top of your mat, and bring even the knife edge of the foot down. And then press into your left palm. Inhale to reach your right fingertips up nice and high, and then thread the needle with a leg out variation. So the right shoulder comes all the way down. And maybe you stay with the left palm planted down to your mat, and this can help you to feel maybe a bit more grounded and to focus on a thoracic spine twist. Or maybe you take the left arm all the way forward in front of you to get more into the compression in the front of the right shoulder. Either option is equally valuable, so see and explore which sensation you feel more called to move into today. And breathe along the outside, the outer line of your right extended leg into the IT band. And see how much you can just surrender so your heart can melt into gravity. One more breath right here. Ground your left palm down under your shoulder if it's not already there. Press into it and then lift right fingertips up high. Circle it nice and easy around. Step the right palm down and bring your right knee back in. Maybe wiggle your hips a little side to side. And now step left foot out wide, grounding down through the knife edge. Press into right fingertips to ripple your left fingertips up high. And then again, thread the needle, crossing the left shoulder down and through. Relax your head down to your mat. If it's popping up, just let it go. And stay maybe with the palm grounded, or go for the reach forward. See if you can soften your low belly right here. Notice if you're clenching or holding in that space. Soften it to allow you to breathe more deeply. Feel the rise and the fall of your breath. And get so relaxed that it's like maybe you could just fall asleep right here. Good. Reground right palm if it isn't. Inhale to reach your left fingertips up high, and then come all the way back around to hands and knees. You can wiggle out your hips. Shift the hips back and forward a few times if that feels good. And then come all the way down to lie on your back. And we'll take a little eagle variation of supine twist today. So thread your right leg all the way up and over your left. Maybe the right toes hook behind your left calf or not. They can stay just out nice and easy, but try to keep your inner thighs connected. And then take your arms out to a T and just slowly drop your legs over to the left side of your mat. And you might want to just pick your hips up slightly, send them over to the right as the knees fall over to the left. Arms are nice and wide, and then let the knees surrender to gravity. If this eagle variation of the twist is feeling super, super intense and not sweet, you can always take any other supine twisting variation that feels better for you. And this one gets really deeply into the back of your glute and the outer right hip. And breathe into the sensation. And one more exhale, one more drop. And then slowly make your way back to the midline. You can uncross the legs. This time the left leg will thread up and over. Maybe you hook the toes or maybe not. And then maybe ground your right toes down to your mat so you can pick your hips up and shift them a little over to the left, and then cross the knees all the way over to the right side of your mat. If it's okay on your neck, you can take your gaze over left fingertips. And slowly make your way all the way back to center. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice, sweet, loving hug. And exhale, Shavasana. Drop everything. Let everything go. Let your head be heavy. And let everything stop moving. Drop into stillness as quickly and as effortlessly as you can. That transition from movement to stillness can be just seamless. Check in with all of the new opening in your full body. All the spaces where you allowed yourself to get sweeter, drippier, meltier. And stay with those spaces and maybe tune into a sensation of the new opening expanding, opening even more. This process of allowing ourselves to find more release, to be kind and patient and compassionate with ourselves as we become more aware, allows us to practice the same thing with others, the same sweetness and compassion and love. Stay in your melt, in your Shavasana, for as long as you have time for. Really absorbing back into the earth and dropping anything out of your body that you don't need to carry anymore. I won't guide you out today, so just stay and come out when you're ready. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.